RAINEY from Oh So Simply, and today I have a very special person that I am excited for everyone to meet. It is Nanny Nikki. I'll let her introduce herself.
Hiya, I'm Nanny Nikki, and I'm a children's musical entertainer that is based in the Chicagoland area, but I do a lot of things virtually now, just like a whole lot of the other folks that are in this business. So yeah, that's who I am.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and talk about some different things, different aspects of COVID and kind of what we are in right now with educating our kids online and getting them to sit still in front of the screen for so long. And we're going to talk about how we can find these resources like Nanny Nikki and use them the most we can. We're going to use them the most we can. So first of all, really quick, tell us a little bit about what you do, like in your videos, how it got started, maybe your inspiration behind it.
So part of the reason that I have gotten so excited about doing what I do is because I feel like music allows children the opportunity, and grown-ups the opportunity, to express joy and to have fun. And especially during these times that we're all living through, this has been particularly needed. So I've really been looking for lots of different outlets to try to make that happen.
Sweet. Yeah, so I personally love music. I play a few instruments. I love to sing. I will start singing the Frozen songs with the kids that I nanny, and like all Disney, I am a Disney music, yes. And I do like the children's nursery rhymes a little less. I got worn out on that with my last family, but because we had a 3-year-old, so we were doing all the preschool stuff all the time. So now I'm like, okay, no more Itsy Bitsy Spider, just like never. We're boxing that one for a while. But I love it because I feel like music helps so much, not only them express themselves and feel like connection with others, but also just like their natural development, like their language development. I feel like when you're singing a song, you can quickly get a song stuck in your head versus like memorizing something for school, like for a test or something. Those are like two completely different things, experiences. So when you have the songs about, your eyes, shoulders, knees, and toes, or the bones in your body, or, the colors of the rainbow, like all of those songs help the kids learn those things. And then they learn like meanings of words, and just they learn so much from music.
Music is a visceral experience, and I say visceral because it completely just exudes from all parts of your body if you really let it. And so that's why I always say choose joy, because I choose joy through music, and it really is an opportunity for all of those learning experiences to really become a bigger part of who you are through music, because it is such a I love that word, visceral.
Yeah.
It's important to recognize just how physically respondent the human body is to music, and how it attaches to your emotions, and it's not only your brain but your heart, your soul. So there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah. And I like to, the emotional side of it, because a lot of what we struggle with as nannies, as moms, parents out there, is toddler years when they are struggling with their emotions, like to express how they're feeling with verbal communication instead of physical outbursts, or even sometimes fighting with their siblings, like physically fighting with their siblings. Instead of doing that, having where I had one little girl, it was the cutest thing in the world. She would get frustrated and she would just sing at the top of her lungs, "I'm frustrated." Like she would just, and that was her big brother's, like when she said that, he knew, you better take 2 steps back, because we were working on the habit breaking, but next did come flying little fists. So it was like, this is your warning call. You step back. She's feeling feelings and she doesn't know how to express them other than singing this out.
Great warning though.
Yeah, and it was so cute because I just love when little kids sing at the top of their lungs.
I know. My daughter does it all the time. And I realized that with me focusing so greatly on encouraging music for everyone around me, she has definitely gleaned that and has taken it to heart in her world. And she sings all the time. It's expressing joy. It's expressing frustration, as you say. It's expressing, her discomfort or her loneliness because she misses friends. And, there's just so many different ways that music can really tap into all of those little kid feelings.
Yeah. So I love it. I also before have talked about baby sign language for the same reason of like getting your kid to communicate early, like anything you can. And I think that if you're not going the baby sign route, cool. Or if you feel like they're a little too old and they do have words, they just need to work more on their feelings, and you want to go the music route, I love it. Like really whatever it takes to get your little one comfortable expressing themselves, I think is super important.
I used a lot of baby sign when I was a nanny, and I always encouraged families to do it because you could just see the lessened frustration in the child. They were so much more capable of expressing their needs.
Do you have videos of like alphabet, letters, numbers, like learning educational things in your repertoire?
So I have a couple of different series that are kind of fun that are on my YouTube channel. One of those are 5 to 10 minute segments of one song and one story. And some of those songs are ABCs and Itsy Bitsy Spider. But then also there's things like reading books about having worries and what to do with it. And I have my little friend Elmo join me on that one. So that's a whole series that I did, and I did it all summer long. Every Friday, I was releasing a new video of a song and a story. So there's a plethora of those. And also I have another series on there that is with other children's musicians who are, from all over the country. I've worked with people from Connecticut, from Oregon, from nearby me in Chicago, etc. And we take turns singing songs. It's called You Sing, I Sing. And so we share some of our favorite songs or songs that we're working on, etc., etc. So those are kind of the big resources that I have available for free out on my YouTube channel.
Cool. Yeah, I like it. I was watching one of the You Sing, I Sing. It was so cute. It was a turkey one. And I loved it. I was like, the turkey has to run because he's going to end up on the plate.
That's right. That is my friend Stacy Peasley. And oh my gosh, she is an early childhood genius. She teaches classes all the time. She's kind of stuck right now, not doing anything anymore because she was doing everything outside. But yes, she is amazing. She writes so much music. She's got another album coming out next year. She's just so talented. Yeah.
Wow,
that was a fun episode.
So one of the things that I've noticed has been really a challenge for me as a nanny is getting my little one to sit down for class on Zoom. Like, first of all, kids sitting down, period. The struggle of my life. Because when I teach, I do have a background in early childhood education. And when I'm teaching a kid, I usually am full body interacting. Like, I want you to jump when we say the word jump. And I want you to wiggle when we say the word wiggle. And like, I want you moving because movement so much helps the brain get the blood flowing and get everything going. And it helps their body be a little bit distracted. So it helps their mind focus more when their body is doing all of these things and it's not getting restless. So for me, sitting on the computer for Zoom is so hard for me as an adult. And then having my kids sit on the computer next to me for Zoom for a classroom is just like a nightmare and a half. So between that, and then you have the other aspect of parents who are working from home now and they're just like, okay, I didn't used to be a screen time person for my kid, but now you know what? Like, I need to do my life. And so yes, they can have the tablet with YouTube on it. And it's the kid protected YouTube, so it's okay. Or I have the PBS app, so it's okay. And still, warning, parents, warning. YouTube for kids still allows some weird stuff coming up in there. I'm just letting you know. I had a little girl obsessed with Peppa Pig. I'm not personally a fan of Peppa Pig, but there are a lot of Peppa Pig fans. Anyways. And it's okay. It's a good show. But on the kids' YouTube, she was watching Peppa Pig repeatedly, going down the, what's next to watch. And all of a sudden hit this KILLING Peppa the Pig video. And I'm like, excuse me? This is supposed to be my kid-friendly YouTube. And now we're watching some very violent things happening to Peppa the Pig. And she's crying, hysterics, and like horrified. And I'm just like,
why would someone do that? Why would someone put that there? That just...
Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. So, needless to say, you have to be careful even with the screen time when we think that we're putting the limits that we think we're putting on there, being aware of those and being kind of around when your kid is on a screen, just in case you overhear something going on that you're like, ooh, I need to go over there and fix that. So I say all of this because then we do have great content creators, educational content, entertaining content for children like Nanny Nikki. And I feel like this is so much better. This is so much better screen time for our little ones. And it clears my conscience when I'm like, here, sit down and watch this while I make you lunch. And it's like, okay, now I know, like, he's watching Nanny Nikki. I'm covered. Like, I don't have to worry about what she's going to come off the cusp and say.
Exactly. And you know that it's genuine and that it's part of what I try to display and what people get when they hire me in person is a genuine interactive person. So something that drove me to wanting to do this was seeing shows with children's performers that didn't really take the time to connect with their audience or to connect with the child that is celebrating the birthday or, and that is something that I work extremely hard to try to make sure I'm doing. So I speak very directly at my camera. I bring puppets and they are all looking at the camera and I try to engage through the camera as much as possible. But then I also, when I'm teaching classes, when I'm teaching, I'm asking questions. I'm directing physical activity. I'm doing all sorts of different things that are trying to get the kids moving and participating. Because as you say, when you get them physically moving, they can focus then a little harder on the engagement of what's going on a screen in front of them.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that is so important because one of the things, a while ago, I was teaching English online. This was like a lifetime ago now, but that was one of the struggles is like trying to engage a kid. And so when you find someone who is good at it, I had parents like lining up at the door, virtual door, obviously, but lining up at the door to hire me because comparing to other people that were on the line teaching English, like they weren't engaging the kid. They were just like, A, can you say A? A. And it's like, I don't even want to learn that, but when you have the puppets and the eye contact and do you hear me? And then you wait for a really long time because you wait for them to think and reply. And if you can't get the feedback when you're doing like a video, waiting, because maybe it takes them a while to realize that you asked them a question and then they think about it and then they answer and then you're like, good job, like, woo, okay, we're doing this, like, and you give them that feedback and that encouragement. I think it's so important. And so I love your interactiveness. Like even before we started this, we were talking about her background is so cool. So even like this amazing, colorful, inviting background, it's so engaging that even when my mind does start to wander and I'm like, what kind of plant is that in the window? It's like I'm still engaged with what's going on.
At least find some interest, and I kind of want to bring you into my world, and the point again is really to try to create an environment and so that this is not just about the kids sitting back and just receiving too much information. It's really about them participating and really seeing into the world that I'm trying to bring them into.
Yeah, and I love it. So other than your YouTube where they have the free series and resources available, you mentioned that you do classes. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I work with an organization called Hello Little Buddies, where I teach classes at least once a week. I'm probably going to be doing maybe twice a week come January 2021. And I'm going to be doing a Christmas special with them. And that's like a regular class. It's all virtual, and I've got my little class participant list with all the little kiddos that I get to see. And it's so fun because they know what to expect. I've got certain puppets that they expect to see every time. And they know that they're going to get an opportunity to interact with my puppets. They know that I'm going to sing songs with their names in it. They know that, we're going to be engaging. And so, yeah, that's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun doing those virtual classes with little buddies.
Sweet. That does sound fun. So for a virtual class, it sounds like it's a group activity. Are you teaching them music? Are you teaching them, do you have specific like lessons or like curriculum? Like, what does your curriculum look like?
It's really based on music appreciation for the most part. I do counting and I do some, letters, and we do conceptual kinds of things like animals that go away and then the mother has to call them back, etc. We do talk about things like that with some of the classic children's music that is out there. Occasionally, I also will do themed classes. So a curriculum-based class that's like all about animals. It's all about the weather. It's all about food. And I've got tons of different, I'll share with you here's my zoo.
Oh, cute.
And here's my diner.
You're getting fancy.
Yeah. And I, just have fun, lots of fun little, for example, like this is a song that almost every child knows, Wheels on the Bus. And so we'll do that with a little bit of animation going on in the background there too.
I love that. I think it's so cute. Like, I just love it. So I'm assuming your classes are set at set times, and then you have YouTube. Do you have any, and I'm just curious, do you have any like one-on-one lessons that you do?
I'm doing a lot of like virtual visits to schools around the country. I am doing a holiday program for a school in Maryland. I'm doing a holiday program for a store here in Chicago that's going to be free on Instagram. I mean, but nothing specifically that I'm doing like one-on-one. I do offer video messages that you can send for a birthday or something like that, which I can create in my little studio here. And then I can send you the files so that you can see your birthday video for as many watches as you want.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking, I'm now selfishly thinking of what I want because I'm soon going to start a new nannying. I have a new client and I spend a lot of time in traffic. It sounds really weird, but I go, he goes to school about 45 minutes away from me, and from his house, because our houses aren't very far apart, but he goes to school 45 minutes away. And so then I pick him up, and then when we're coming back, we hit all of the lovely traffic that comes with living near a city. And so we're going to be in the car for like an hour and a half. So I'm just like, what are we going to be doing in there?
Well, Nanny Nikki has music coming. I'm actually in the process of recording some, I'm going to start with some digital singles that you'll be able to hear on iTunes, Spotify, etc. And much like the shows that I do virtually and in person, my music is going to be very interactive as well. My own music will be out there, and hopefully you can listen to it on like XM radio on Kids Place Live. And
that is so exciting. You'll have to keep us posted on that, because I will send out all of the alerts and announcements, because I am all for finding good kid music that I like, that I find engaging, because like I said, Itsy Bitsy Spider's been shelved. Like once it's played too many times, Rainey has to take a break. So I love that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good stuff coming. I've got lots of good stuff coming in 2021. I can't wait.
Yeah.
in the meantime, during this pandemic that we're all living through, I am really, really enjoying visiting virtually daycares, preschools, parent groups, anything like that. You know, if you have a community organization that is looking for some entertainment for children, or just looking to do something fun for a group of your employees or something like that, that is something that I have been so enjoying. It has been so neat to just meet people from all over the country through the camera, and bring them a little bit of my energy and my joy and my excitement.
That's so exciting. Wait, so I'm just checking here. If I get a play group of my kids with other nannies in my area, I can hire you?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Okay. That might be in the books because albeit during COVID, it's been a little hard to find safe places to do play groups. But I have found that I have a few families that already have people, like their parents happen to work together or do things together. So they're already in their bubble, their germ bubble. So then we just have the kids. They're going to be the same germ bubble anyways. Might as well let them play together. So it has created a diversity of ages in my play groups, whereas before we tried to stay similarly aged so that the activities were more engaging to everyone. But now we have that variety. So I think that music is one that kind of covers all children. And it kind of becomes a monkey see, monkey do situation. So the little ones want to copy the big ones, or the big ones get engaged, even though they're like, this is for babies. They still are doing it.
They still have fun. Oh man. Yes. Doing some socially distant stuff over the summer when it was still nice out, I was able to bring in kids that were 10, 11, 12, because they found that it was still fun to do all of these things that these 4 and 5, 3-year-olds are, they still have fun. They still can tap into that joy that's being a kid. So absolutely, it's fun to just get together with a parent group or your nanny group or whomever, your pod. And yeah, we can set up a time to Zoom and have a little musical play date.
I love that you just said that the 10 and 11 and 12-year-olds, because honestly, I feel like with COVID, like I'm having a hard time expressing my feelings and having outlets, finding new outlets, because things, I've started a lot of crafts since COVID started, and I get bored about halfway through them, and I'm like, I'll get to that later. I'll finish it later. But because it just loses my interest so quickly. But the one consistent thing is Spotify, and they recently did the Wrapped Up, and I was like, yeah, I know Spotify. I've been listening to a lot of you lately. Because music has just been that constant, because you can always have different varieties of music going. But I'm losing myself here. My point was that allowing those older kids to let loose and not feel like I'm expected to be a big kid, I'm expected to be mature, just letting them be kids, like letting them blow off some steam and feel, silly and get their wiggles out. And like, yeah, 10, 11, 12, who cares? Like even the teenagers. I had a 16-year-old that I was with, I was there for her kid brother, but she was always around, and she would come in and I'd be like, hey girl, you want to get in on this dance party? And like, I'm just dancing around the living room with this baby in my arms and like wiggling him around, and she's like doing it too and wants to do it with him. And it was just so fun because she got a second to be relaxed and not to feel, especially when their parents aren't around, because then they feel like, oh, I don't have to look mature, or like, because don't tell my mom I did this with you. But they have so much fun. Yeah, I feel like giving them that opportunity to just be kids, like let our kids be kids.
Yeah. If you see a big boisterous woman like myself acting the fool, jumping around, dancing, falling off of my chair, patting my legs, spinning around, doing goofy dances, you can do it too. And the kids look at you and they're like, okay, yeah, that looks like fun.
Yeah,
I'll join in on that.
Yes, and I love it. So I'm super happy that you are in the virtual world and now part of my world. Bringing the joy and love for music. I love it. And I love your virtual backgrounds. I will be getting on top of that, guys, because yes, this is good for my, serious business talks, but I feel like I need something more fun going on back here. Anyways, so where can we find you on Instagram? Like, what's your tags on Instagram, YouTube? Where are you at?
My tag, my handle for all social media is at Nanny Nikki Music. It's
Beautiful.
Very simple, very simple. So, and then also my website, nannynickymusic.com. So if you need more information, or if you're interested in scheduling something, you can reach out to me there, shoot me an email, and that's easy too. nannynickymusic@gmail.com.
Perfect. So I will have all of those linked around for you guys to check her out. And until then, I am hoping that you go onto YouTube, find some Nanny Nikki music this weekend, and party your life away.
Goodbye. So nice to meet you.
And we will see you again next Saturday.